Hey guys, your boy PokeGeek here, and I want to get things clear out today. We're talking about more like Sword and Shield, but more of the in-depth part of why they're making this game in a weird way. But what you guys also need to understand is I'll get right into it actually. So if you click on this video to learn more about information about what's going on, then definitely stay tuned to the end because it's gonna get pretty interesting. You will learn a lot. So this will change your mind on a lot of things. Game Freak is not the owner of Pokemon. So just let's get it straight. Okay, Game Freak does not own Pokemon. They make Pokemon, but they do not own it. See, the difference is Nintendo actually owns Pokemon. They're their publishers. You know, Game Freak makes it, Nintendo masters it, and then publishes it. They own it, they own the rights to it, they do whatever they want, they make all the moves. Game Freak is just a company that has like a contract to make it, to you know, do all this and that. Game Freak actually is known for making a lot of other games like Pocket Card Jockey, Harmonite. You know, you also got the new games that are coming out this year, supposedly on like new consoles like PlayStation and stuff like that, like Giga Wrecker Alt and like Town, which is actually still like a working title. And Game Freak, that's like one of Game Freak's like prized possessions of a publishing. You know, Game Freak's actually publishing that one onto the Nintendo Switch, supposedly. The new Town one. It looks pretty dope, actually. But yeah, and also they work with Sega. They work with Sega a lot as well. And what you guys also, what you guys need to realize that, you know, Nintendo, they have their, you know, they have Nintendo known as like, you know, Mario, you know, like Zelda, crap like that. But this one's called like the Nintendo, the Pokemon Company. So Nintendo has their own other side of the Nintendo that is for the Pokemon, and they call it the Pokemon Company. And well, nowhere does it say anything on the titles or whatever like that, except about the back that it says it's actually made by Game Freak. A lot of it says like Nintendo or like the Pokemon Company. A lot of you guys have ever seen that. Game Freak's just a small little label on it. Like if you look at the old like Game Boy Advance games, on the back on a small little print, it'll say Game Freak, or on the titles on the bottom, that's like the only place it ever says is like Game Freak 97, 95 to like 96 or 90, like something like that. I don't know, whatever it says on the games. But yeah, that's what you see on those games. That's the only time, you know, Game Freak ever has any type of, you know, say so on anything on the game. So let's get this straight. Game Freak is like a contractor. You know, they basically come in, make a game that they, you know, the person that hired them to make it, you know, they make it like that. See, so what's, you know, you guys know that now. So you guys can't blame Game Freak for these, you know, acquisitions of a national Pokédex and stuff like that. Yeah, they tweet about on their Twitter and stuff like that, because Nintendo, let's be honest here, they don't have time to be tweeting about Pokemon all the time. They got other games to come out with, right? So Game Freak's, you know, basically, you know, doing all these updates, you know, getting told what to put on there and stuff like that. I guarantee you they just do what they do. Game Freak did not do it for that. I doubt Game Freak probably even want to do half the things they want to do. They probably don't even care, honestly. Let's be honest here. Game Freak doesn't even probably freaking care about anything about what's happening on Pokemon at this point. Nintendo is the one that's making the calls. It's like having a, you know, it's like having a boss tell you, not have to tell you. It's like you being a manager and you having a boss, but you get to run the whole business. You do all the taxes, you do everything, but the boss does nothing. That's not how it works, right? That's what people are thinking. They're thinking the manager runs the whole business. No, the manager manages things. They do things. They do things around the kitchen. They get paid to do that stuff, right? They get it around their kitchen. They do it around the office, whatever they do. But the one that does make all the decisions is the boss, right? Am I right? And that's Nintendo. Nintendo tells them what to do, and they do it, and Game Freak basically makes sure it's done. You know, Game Freak makes sure everything's done, so when it's done, Nintendo can have it, publish it, and be like, hey, we made this freaking game, but we also got help from Game Freak, because Game Freak's the one that actually made it. But let's be realistic here. Game Freak doesn't work for Nintendo 100%. Game Freak works for any other things. You know, they're just a private company. They work for like Sega. They work for like Nintendo. They work for like other small little companies like Rising Star Games as a little bit of a publisher, not too big or anything like that. But yeah, they're just kind of like a contracting company. They basically just make games for here and there for other companies. Like they're mostly known for their Pokemon games, which is with Nintendo, the Pokemon Company. And so let's get that straight here, guys. You guys hear that here right now? This is some basic, actual basic shit. If you don't even have to have a degree to learn this stuff. I have an associate's in game development and computer science, stuff like that. Like I only know, I didn't even have to go do classes to even know this. You know that, you know, Game Freak doesn't really actually make decisions in what happens in Pokemon. Like, it's just stupid if you think of that. Like, you know, it's like, I don't know how stupid you'd have to be to think that. I mean, if you did think that, you did not know that, and you were watching this video, and then you found that out, don't feel bad. It's okay. You're getting educated. But if you came in here and tried to tell me that, you know, trying to argue and stuff like that, that's just wrong. But yeah, if you did not know that, for educational purposes, you know now. You know, thank you for clicking on this video to try to learn more. It's 100% good for you to know this stuff. So yeah, Game Freak is basically kind of just the maker, and then, you know, Nintendo's the one that publishes it. Game Freak just, like I said, I can say this a million times. They make the game. They do not make the decisions. They can influence decisions, but they do not do everything. Nintendo's the one that says, hey, do this, do this, do this, and make it, and you get paid, and we'll publish it, and you get your little like title screen thing. That's it. That's all you get on the freaking game, because everything else says Nintendo or the Pokemon Company, and everyone thinks Game Freak is the Pokemon Company, which really, realistically, it isn't. And I can put a screenshot up right now where it says Game Freak is separate from the Pokemon Company, and that's 100%, because that's just how it is. You know, it's like when a company sees a good enough game, or a game that could be any type of competitions, they buy it before anyone makes any lot of money. They want to be the one making the money, not you. And if you're a small producer or a small developer or anything like that, that, you know, if you get $4 million waved in your face for a game that took you maybe 3 months, shit, dude, you'd be taking that stuff in a snap of a finger, right? And that's what a lot of businesses do. You know, $4 million in Nintendo or to, you know, Game Freak or anything like that is nothing. You know, those people, you know, make that money monthly and stuff like that. And look at Fortnite, it's $1 billion business now. It's crazy. So that's how that stuff works, man. It's business. It's common sense. You know, there's different levels of, you know, things like that. Game Freak doesn't make it. They don't produce it. Then where does Nintendo come from? Why is Nintendo's name on it? Think about it. If Nintendo's name's on it, and it's the biggest name on the thing, it's like this. Why would the name be bigger than Game Freaks? If the name's bigger than Game Freaks, then that shows you that name had a bigger influence on the game than that actual Game Freak. It's 100% true. Because Game Freak made it, but Nintendo did all the, you know, all the stuff. They did all this and that. Maybe back in the day, Game Freak actually had more of an influence on it because Nintendo was more focusing on other games like Zelda or like Mario or like any other games. Maybe more. But now it's Nintendo's trying to take over things because Nintendo's a bigger business now. And it's huge. And they want control of everything. And that's just how it is. I could be completely wrong with that, but you know, I just say how it is. But I know for sure Game Freak had a lot more decisions and everything else because everything was the same back in the day. You know, but now since DS and all that came out, I can see Nintendo having a big impact on that stuff because they want them to go into their new softwares. You know, think about it. Why would Game Freak go to a new software all the time when they first come out? They do because Nintendo influences that because they want people to buy their stuff. They want to buy their 3DS. They want them to buy the DS. You know, think about it. They stopped making, you know, different kind of game hardwares because they want people to kind of buy stuff. It's kind of like the new video games. Like you can't play the new Call of Duties on your Xbox 360, PS3. You have to play them on a new software as the new game and like the new, you know, well, they're not softwares, the new like game consoles, the new consoles. They want you to buy the new consoles to influence it because let's be honest here, they probably get a royalty check for that crap, you know, and yeah, that's just how that goes, guys. And thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys did learn anything, please leave a like. And thank you guys so much. And I hope you guys did learn a lot more about the game development company, especially like the difference between Game Freak and Nintendo, the Pokemon Company. So yeah, it's been your boy PokeGeek. Peace.